There's that coffee. Okay. Welcome, one and all, to the peaceful future, or not so peaceful future, as these weeks have been going by. It's been a hell of a week, and we've been all jonesing to get some D&D as we didn't have a chance to do a session last week, and we won't have a session next week because one of our players will be out, so we're not going to move on without them. So, just as a heads up, there will be no session on the next weekend. However, we are missing a player tonight. Maya is busy doing some stuff, so they will be instead being piloted by our friendly neighborhood time wizard who didn't fuck up my timelines, the Troy who's playing Sarah and Atova.
Oh.
I said didn't fuck up my timelines.
I mean,
The other time wizard.
Yeah, the only other time wizard. So yes, they will be piloted. So Sigrun will be a silent NPC for today. As far as it goes, last time we left off was about 2 weeks ago, I believe, because we missed last week, unfortunately. So 2 weeks ago, we had the party managed to have their first session, in which they all gathered together in a nice, large desert tomb, I guess would be a good way to put it. Dungeon, another way to put it. Cage, some would say. And after exploring the wonkiness and uniqueness to this said cage slash dungeon slash tomb, the party spent some time delving all the way down to the 4th level. After getting some very strange visions of a situation with a very dark, monstrous, large creature, the party would find themselves a rather great giant blue orb. Said orb would then be freed from its containment by one Terias, the Red Goblin, and which now somehow he's gained a blue star on his forehead after maybe absorbing it? We don't know. We're not sure. No one has figured out what happened yet to the orb and why suddenly a red goblin has a blue star on his forehead. The party finds themselves.
is this a race thing?
Yes.
We got a red and a blue.
Your first child shall now be purple.
Oh God.
I'm not running yet.
God damn it. So yes, as the party managed to liberate this orb, the unfortunate dark monster that they would finally realize would break out of its cage and start to chase them up, at which point the party, with a blinding blue light, vanished into the equilibrium, we're going to say, because that's a fancy word I just thought of, and that makes no contextual sense. And managed to find themselves outside of said tomb once again. However, this time, instead of being in a great and mighty desert, the party finds themselves in a very large jungle village. Almost a city of what looks to be goblinoids, all with green skin, walking around in normal leather clothing. Most seem quite pleasant. This town looks to be rather large, as you cannot see how far it goes out, even with all of your vision. And none of the people seem to even notice any of you lot, as you just find yourself standing around. I will say that all of those who are magic casters, please roll for Arcana as we begin. Welcome back to a peaceful future.
17 Arcana.
Okay.
16.
16, okay. And Terios?
I'm not a caster.
Oh, that's right, for once.
Does it have anything to do with Fey Fiends or Undead, though?
It does not.
Then I would have no idea.
Shogun and Sarah, you both realize neither of you have your spells for some reason. You don't feel any magic flowing through you.
Huh. That's not good.
Pays to not be a caster, I guess.
I guess I can shoot my bow and be fine.
As you look up, you all see a blue sun in the sky.
Yo.
The sky itself is a almost faint greenish-like color. And you can see off in the distance, just slightly as it is, roughly about evening at this point. You'd guess somewhere around like 7 p.m.-ish, based on the sun's point. That the moon is also a strange, almost magenta-like color.
When we were exiting, I had my gauntlet in the sword form. Is it still in sword form?
It is, and it can't seem to change
Okay.
back.
Okay. Where the hell are we?
Terius is just whispering under his breath. Parallel universe. Parallel universe.
Oh shit! I don't really have any magic items to say. Hey, let's check and see if those work.
So
Oh,
are we?
Oh, I do. I'll unsheath my sword. Does it work?
Do you activate it?
Yeah.
What's the word you used to activate it?
Global snarf.
In Goblin, I will say, "Let there be light."
You all see as this rusty sword, as Shogun pulls out this rusty sword, and speaking in Goblin, which only a few of you see, everyone but Sara and Sigrun know. The spell is cast, or the word is cast, and the sword does not light up.
Yeah, Sigrun still thinks it's indigestion.
Gonna look at Shogun and Cal and be like, was that supposed to do something?
Magic, the sword is. Work, it does not right now.
Any idea
No, that's
why?
the same.
Or should we just try moving on or going back in the temple?
Shogun's gonna sheath the sword. No, I do not. Adventure I am ready for.
Yeah, I don't seem to have access to any of my magic either.
Well, at this point, I think that the boar lady, this red goblin with the star on his head, and me are the only ones that can do much in combat then. So, be careful.
Hey. Oh, that's me.
I'm pulling out the blasting powder again. Fight I can.
Oh no! No blasting powder, please.
And then I'll put it back away.
Oh god.
I'm gonna look and be like,
Wait, where are
"If
you
hurt
putting
one
the-
of us with the
Where are you putting the blasting powder?
My back in my backpack.
Okay.
I'm showing that I have it, showing that I can fight, and then I'm putting it back.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't trust that not to kill us all when the time comes.
Your trust I do not need.
We need to speak to one of these folks here.
You
I'm gonna
notice-
walk with
Place,
one
I
of the
don't know if they
goblins.
speak common.
You notice as goblins are walking right past you, and don't seem to even look your direction as they continue
I'll
their
speak in
conversations.
goblin real quick and say, "Hello, can anybody hear me?"
No one responds.
I'll try and tap one on the shoulder, politely.
As you go to, give me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. This is what it
Literally,
is.
D, I'm about to get beat. Hey, how's a 20 fucking the nat 20 on the saving
As you
throw?
go to
Why?
tap them on the shoulder, putting your weight forward, you find yourself falling through them as your hand kind of passes right through. But you catch yourself just in time. You feel no heat, no cold. It's just normal.
Shogun. will
Can I
sigh.
roll an intelligence check to make sure to see if my guess is correct?
Another illusion this is.
Sure. What's your guess?
It's a world of illusions right now.
Okay.
An echo from the past. An 11.
We haven't
Uh,
escaped yet.
You don't know.
I'm just gonna share the theory anyways. Could this be a world of illusions or an echo of the past or something like that?
Has the temperature shifted from when we were running through the underground place?
Yes, in the underground temple, it was a lot colder due to the fact that you were underground, and there was a generally cold breeze coming from all around, with no specific source, which is why none of you really paid attention too much to it. And here it feels to be slightly warmer. You can all give me a perception check if you'd like.
Okay. 15.
Okay.
Damn.
3.
Really getting good at that. 16, 17. Okay. So Let me double check the. So Nick and Sarah, being the only two who apparently can open their eyes.
Perceptive enough.
I'm just head down working on
You
machinery.
do feel that the area around you feels kind of damp. The air feels damp around you.
I think we're still underground.
Sarah will try to. I assume there's like bushes or small trees.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
this is a massive jungle. You're
Yeah.
seeing berries, and wildlife running around, giant apes
Well-
swinging from vines.
Yeah, we'll just walk over to the closest shrub or bush or tree and try to touch it with her now stuck sword hand.
Okay. As you poke it with your sword, the bush seems to phase right through the bush, but something does fall to the ground. As you
Yes, a
look,
coin.
as you look, for a moment you see something kind of fleshy, and then it turns to a gold coin.
Don't like that.
This reminds me of the eyeball incident. I had to pitch that flask.
She'll try to touch the coin with the sword.
Okay.
See if it's solid.
As you poke it, the coin is solid. It bends slightly because it's gold.
Yeah.
Not
yeah.
the strongest of metals, but yeah. As you put your weight onto it, it seems to bend slightly.
I mean, it's kind of looking towards the group, but whatever just happened there seems the only thing that so far we can physically access, and she will bend to pick it up.
It feels wet and kind of almost like a piece of steak.
Ew.
She will
Wet
drop it
and
again.
meaty.
As you drop it, it makes the sound of a coin and bounces away.
Yeah, she'll let
Do I
it
see where it bounces away
be.
to?
It just rolls to the bush again.
I go to pick it up.
Oh, okay. You pick up, and it feels like a solid gold coin.
I
Uh,
bite it.
Oh god.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Play Mignon.
Undercooked food. 23.
I don't think
I'm
that's
good at
good.
my saves today, that's it.
You bite into it, and you immediately start vomiting as this very acidic-like liquid that's got almost a coppery-like taste suddenly flows into your mouth, and causes a strange black gunk to start being puked out of you. But you don't lose any hit points. Terias, as you sit down, you feel something very wet on your legs and backside.
Don't bite anything you find here.
I'll kind of lift up my legs, see if there's
Your
something
legs
I
are
sat in.
soaked, but there's nothing there but dirt.
They're soaked in what?
Some sort of liquid. You're not sure. It's very viscous like.
Is
and
it colored?
It is not. It is clear.
Alright, I'm chilling.
That leaves like 3 options for what it could be, and none of them are good. Shogun, you want anything? Ugh, that was nasty.
Do we
Touch
stay
something,
here? Do
I
we
would-
try to go back in? This all seems wrong.
This feels like someone's kink shame.
Seems very wrong.
I'll attempt to walk back in. We'll see
Also,
what happens.
Terias, all of your crafting materials are gone.
Bro, what?
Yep.
I
You're not
checked
sure
for
where
my
they are.
Arrows.
Your arrows are gone.
Oh, I'm entirely useless except for my short sword.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back in the ruin and see what happens.
It is shut, and as you turn around, you can see actual Turesk skulls at the top of the 2 pillars. You can tell just from this distance, these are legitimate bone skulls of small Turesks.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna stand up because this place is screwing with me. And
Pull out a Thompson.
first things first, I'm gonna investigate around, look for my look for my crap.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
11.
As you go walking around, looking past through buildings and walking through doors, literally, you don't find anything.
Alright, I'm gonna take one of my battle axes, and I'm gonna start hacking teeth off of these Trask skulls.
Okay.
You're climbing up there and doing that.
Give me an an athletics check to see have you climb.
Easy.
I'm stepping away. I don't want him falling on me. If he's
23.
Yeah, you. This is easier than the trees from where your home. As you climb straight up, the rocks are pretty jagged here. And as you go up to grab one of the teeth, how are you getting it out or taking it out?
I was gonna swing my axe just at the
Tooth.
at the jaw, kind of knock the jaw off so I can remove teeth from there.
Okay, go ahead and give me an attack.
Cool. Another 23.
Okay. You manage to crack the skull, and the jaw, both the upper and the lower jaw, seems to fall to the ground with a loud slam, and then you all hear a loud roar of pain, as if some creature just was attacked, and it seems to come from all around you.
I smirk for a minute and get an idea. I take my short sword and plunge it into the ground.
Okay. As you do, please give me another con save.
20.
As you all watch as Nick just takes his short sword out and stabs straight into the dirty ground, it sinks deep to all the way to the hilt, and suddenly his black ichor just explodes out like a fountain, smashing Nick in the face. He is now covered head to toe in this foul-smelling copper-like material of black ichor that's almost seems to cling to him like a mucus.
Wait a minute. Is this some? Does this feel more like blood since it's copper smelling?
It's very you're not sure. It's very mucus-like, which blood is not. For those who've never been stabbed or shot, or had a paper cut.
Well, I guess I'll wipe myself off as best I can, and
I'm spraying perfume on him.
And yes, sir.
I know that that's not supposed to come out of the ground. Where the hell are we?
I think we're inside a beast. What type of beast, I'm not sure, but we're definitely inside something. And it seems like the more damage we do in here, the more it hurts.
You all notice in the distance a wave of water is coming towards you.
And that is our cue to get onto higher ground.
Bottom jaw and climb back up.
I am booking it over and climbing up as well.
From this distance, you can all tell it's about 15 stories high of a wave coming straight towards you.
So there's
a tidal wave.
Nothing that tall.
Not around you.
Here.
No, nothing that you can physically seem to grab onto.
I'm climbing over the fence and jumping back into the temple that way.
The tomb is closed. The doors are slammed shut.
Wasn't there an outside wall?
Nope. There was this one entrance, and then you had to go down.
I'm going to kind of wrap this jaw around my waist, so it'll be like pushed against me when the wave hits me, and I'm gonna take my 2 axes and jam them into the rock face at the top of this sort of temple.
Okay.
And just brace myself.
Give me a con saving throw, firstly.
9.
You watch as Terias, and then give me a strength saving throw.
Okay. 13.
You watch as Terias slams his axes into the wall of the temple, or of this tomb, slamming them both directly into it, and this black ichor seems to explode all over his face, causing him to vomit and lose his grip on both his axes and go tumbling to the ground. You take no damage, but you are now covered in this black ichor and it is causing you to vomit continuously.
I'm already used to the smell.
I'm spraying him with perfume too.
Thank you.
I climb back up and get his axes down
How
for
far
him.
is the tidal wave?
From what you can tell, about 2, maybe 3 miles away.
Oh,
It's coming quick,
yo. Yeah. I'm gonna
The entrance of
clap and
Oh,
what?
go ahead, sir.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say the entrance of the tomb is like the tidal wave coming from the opposite side, so we could be in like the little nook
You could try.
of the door space.
Yeah, you could definitely do that, and it would brace you there. Yes, it is coming
Yeah,
from the
Sarah
opposite.
Sarah will take kind of shelter, just not striking
And
anything,
Stigrun will
just trying
probably
to
do the
get
same.
Okay.
get down to hope that the force will be lessened.
Okay.
I'm gonna climb up first real quick and grab his axes for him and then go hide there and be like, everybody get by the wall.
All right, give me an athletics check.
I really wish I could do acrobatics for this, but
Acrobatics would be swinging. You're climbing straight up.
9.
As you go climbing up, you find the wall. The for some reason, a very dry-looking desert-like stone is very wet. As you go sliding down it. Sarah, are you going? Are you climbing up?
I'm going
Oh,
to the
sorry, I
wall.
thought you meant everybody.
Oh no,
no, he-
only
Nope.
Nick. Okay.
Yeah, she's just kind of getting down and like back against the door and kind of bracing
Okay.
herself like against the door.
Gotcha.
Because of how bad this smells, Shogun's giving everyone a bar of soap.
How many bars of soap do you have?
10.
Okay. So you can remove. In total was that?
4, because
Yeah, 4 people. Okay.
everyone gets a bar of soap in case of emergencies.
You
The
now all
Sigrun
have
eat
a
the
bar of soap. And Sigrun is not that dumb.
You will have a bar of soap.
Okay, so you each now have a bar of soap. Terias, you wanted to try climbing up again?
Yes.
You will be
I-
at disadvantage because you are covered in whatever this liquid is.
Can I give the help action to even it out?
How are you going to help him?
Push on my butt.
Encouraging words.
I'll try and boost him.
You're going to try and... Okay, so 2 goblins go climbing up a wall to retrieve 2 axes. Yeah, go ahead. Give me, with disadvantage, you get the help, though. So it's a D4, I believe.
No,
that's
D4
just a
gives
flat
advantage.
roll.
Help evens
roll.
it to not
Alright.
be disadvantage.
That's a natural one.
Damn, Michael,
You immediately go sliding back down on the Shogun.
now I smell bad.
I'm hiding by the wall at this point,
Yeah,
by
I'm
the
gonna
doorway.
get by the wall, wait,
How
that's
much
all right.
time do we have left
It
before it?
looks to be about 2 miles out now.
I can
Oh
help you
yeah,
again.
I
Oh,
can
we got
try
time.
again.
We got time, keep
You-
going.
I shout encouraging words. You got
Alright.
this! And a goblin, you really got this!
17.
As you manage to climb up, give me a strength check to see if you can pull these axes out.
20.
You manage to pull both axes out as you get covered in more ichor, causing you to gag yet again and go sliding back down.
More perfume.
As Shogun goes to take cover, use the soap you must.
I start
I-
rubbing it all over as. I mean, the soap is probably just getting coated in this.
Yep, you are now mixing the smell of what is just basic soap of animal lard and this disgusting acidic ichor.
And the perfume.
Yeah, the perfume is there, but it doesn't help the soap smell now that it's covered in this disgusting liquid. A few moments later, you feel the tomb doors open as the wave is getting closer.
Yep, in the tomb.
Push in, push in, push in!
And
In the
yeah,
Okay,
I want to give one last look to see if I can find my items.
give me a
'Cause-
perception check.
Got my arrows.
14.
Looking around in a full 360, you see that your items are sitting in a bag on the ground inside the temple.
Oh,
Oh, sweet. I run.
Perfectly unscathed. As you guys go charging in, you do notice that this tomb seems to have a little bit of a water level risen in the thing, and the doors are not closing as the water is getting closer.
Are there still stairs going up and down?
Only down from what you can see. As you look around this room, you see to your left is a hallway with what looks to be individual rooms. To your right is a stairway, and in the center of the room is also another stairway. There is no cage this time. There is no small chest. It is just, and there are
I
no
want to
paintings
try
on
to
the
close
wall.
the doors.
Okay. Give me a strength check to see if you can.
Help action. You can do it. I believe in you.
What would? Oh,
19. Would this be at disadvantage?
No.
Oh, so.
so you'd get advantage
Help.
from help action.
Oh, so yeah, 19.
As you go to pull them, they don't budge in the slightest.
Oof.
Something does seem to roar yet again, though, in pain, off in the distance.
Bitch, shut the doors before you piss.
As the water is getting closer to you guys. And
I'm going
which
to
way we
grab
going?
all
Is
my
my-
items and shove them even farther into my bags.
Okay.
And make sure
I'm
they're
grabbing
on
my
me.
arrows if they're around
Is my
here.
magic still going?
you do not find your arrows. Sorry, Shogun?
Is my magic still gone?
Sorry, you get singing?
Do I have my magic anymore? Is it still gone?
It's still gone. All of your magic is
Damn.
still gone.
Fuck. It's gonna molder.
But you all do notice Terias's forehead is glowing slightly. A slight blue color.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, you! Touch this. Tell me what it does.
Who are you shouting to?
All of you.
I'll touch it. Yep.
I go poke the forehead.
Okay, as two people go charging at
Well, no, I was
Terias's...
right next to him as I was helping. I'm right there.
Yeah, he's right there. I go walk over calmly to poke the forehead.
As you poke the forehead, Terias, you feel your head being poked.
Oh, nice.
They are, one is covered in the viscous, and now you have a smudge on your blue mark.
I'll just still
Can
clean
I,
that up.
can I really, hunker down? I'll even maybe risk forcing out a little fart. I just want to try to do something with this thing on my forehead.
Focus on the mark really hard.
Yeah, just like...
How would you
Hero
like
from
to?
Heroes.
How-
Just focus really hard.
Okay, give me a intelligence check for your focus.
Okay.
If you fail, I have an item to.
Nat 20.
Okay,
22.
we're gonna come to you in a second. Sarah, what are you doing?
She is gonna look around. She's been in a few things to try to find some sort of a trigger for the door.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
That's the smart thing to do. Not just force it closed.
Oh nope.
Good news is, it's pretty obvious as there's a big brick that has an arrow pointing to it on the wall, and as you walk over to kind of shove on it, it closes the door. It starts to close the doors.
Oh, perfect.
We're all looking at, currently, two of us are looking at Trios. You did it!
I throw my hands up in victory.
With your intelligence check, yeah, you realize this isn't working. But you do also realize something else. You might be climbing into the gullet of something. That might be why you've been getting this weird ichor all over you. An absolute silence.
Also, has anybody seen my arrows?
No.
No.
Fuck.
I haven't also looked for them, but I have not seen them.
I wish Shogun would have kept the one I shot in his shoulder.
Do you say
I
that
only
out
have
loud?
one arrow.
Still do.
Do you say
No.
that? Okay.
Hold a grudge, I still do.
All
Shogun,
right.
did you steal
Yes,
my
it's
arrows,
just-
buddy?
The room is slowly filling with water. It is up to the smaller character's kneecaps. To the rest
Good,
of
I
you,
can
about
wash
mid
the ichor
thigh.
off my hands at least.
As you dip your hands into it, you suddenly feel a slight burning pain. You take. Give me a moment. I'll just do it here real quick. 3 points of acid damage.
This is
going to
acid. We need to
scramble
move.
up onto the boar's head.
Well, if this is acid, let's go out. Sarah presses the button again.
The
Or
door
what is it?
does
Foundation
not
trigger
open.
I
before.
think that wave
The
is.
door does not open, but a secondary door does appear where the original chest was once when you came through here.
Awesome. That
And-
sounds cool. Let's go that way.
As
I-
it opens,
I
a
guess-
dark tunnel is shown with what looks to be white columns every so often.
Hmm.
We're not going
think
down that way.
Ribs.
Well, but yeah, I don't know.
Do we want to fall with
I
the
mean,
rib?
there is another way out of a creature if we're in a creature. If the front doesn't work,
Stomach acid.
Yeah, if I remembered correctly, whenever something eats something, even if it's alive, going through the stomach isn't a good idea.
Onward,
No.
poor lady.
Sigrun waits for Sarah.
yeah, Sarah will nod.
All
We've
right.
got no other place to go.
As you start walking deeper into the water does dissipate into the thing, so none of you are taking acid damage, thankfully, and your shoes don't seem to be melting. Even Sigrun's hooves seem to be perfectly fine. As you start to walk further in, after a few about 10 minutes later, the door closes and you are left in pitch blackness as the hallway seems to continue on.
I light a torch, or try to.
Dark, yay for dark vision. I can see.
Yeah.
All right, Nick, as you light a torch, it lights up. Give me a dexterity check.
I'm staying away from that torch. I know
7.
Immediately something drips from the top ceiling and puts the torch out.
You know,
It is now a wet torch.
I just dropped the torch at that point. I'm like,
It
someone
immediately
hold on to me
melts.
'cause I'm fucking blind and I can't see a damn thing.
I'll
Yeah,
hold Nick's hand.
for those who can't see, partner up.
no, I'm gonna hold Nick's
I
hand.
think everyone can see but Nick.
Sigrun can't.
Uh,
Sigrun does not have dark vision either.
That's true.
Sigrun can't either.
Yeah, I'll hold Nick's hand. Who wants to grab Sigrun's hand?
I'll take Sigrun's.
Okay.
And because I'm assuming Sarah and Sigrun kind of took the lead, so we'll just let's
With
move.
a goblin riding on Sigrun's head.
Yep.
Yes. I am clutching my backpack to my chest with all my.
I'm holding onto a goblin's hand, and now the joke of "Dad, I'm hungry. Are we there yet?" comes to mind.
Quiet, yo.
As you guys start walking further and further down, the water seems to start to raise, but yet you don't feel a burning sensation. About a half an hour passes, and you see a light at the end of this tunnel as you continue on, as these pillars continue to, or start to disappear and dissipate slightly. You do see what looks to be a slight light at the end of the tunnel. Do you wish to continue?
We got nowhere else to go.
Yes.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
Towards the anus.
After about a half an hour of more walking, the light seems to get further and further, and then suddenly you find yourself right in front of it. And as you step out, you find yourself back outside into the desert, where you see the goblin Lord Bao, just
Is
sitting
that
there.
the-
Same goblin man you met when you went in, and he just looks at you a lot
Gotcha.
and goes, "Huh, 5 minutes, impressive."
What was so impressive about that?
What
Ah.
is this? And I point to my forehead.
Still clutching to Sigrun.
Yes.
He looks and goes, good luck! And he turns and starts walking off.
The fuck just happened?
Sarah will cast Green Flame Blade just as a cantrip to
And it
see if
activates.
it works.
Yep.
I check and see if I have my arrows and flask.
You do find your arrows, but they are all snapped.
And
and your flask
Goblin,
is
I'm gonna
gone.
go. Hey brother, can you take a look at this? Do some hoodoo voodoo, figure out what it is.
He's talking to me. Yeah, I can try. Here, get down here.
I scramble down off her back.
Okay. Alright.
It's time for some Arcana checks.
Do you have Identify, or are you just going to do an Arcana check?
I do have Identify. I can attempt.
Okay.
It's worth a shot.
So, 10 minutes of sitting there. Let me just check something.
I don't have it set as a ritual. I have it set as a.
Oh, you have it as a spell. Sweet. That makes this easier. Okay. Let me just...
My ritual is detect magic. I don't have a. I did identify as my cast.
Alright. So give me one moment to PM you something.
sick. I'm actually gonna learn something for once.
As
Hopefully.
they're doing that, Sarah will kind of like loop around Sigrun, so kind of breaking eye contact with most of the group, and then change the gauntlet back to the bracelet.
Okay.
Take what you want from this. I do owe from.
Give me a minute. There's a long description for this, and I have to type it out because I didn't have it pre-prepped.
I figured there'd be a looking for an item like that. But I'd like to know
Refill
what
water quick.
Yep, you're good. Give me a moment.
Waiting for an item called like the Mark of the Hero or something. The Mark of the One True
I
King.
reject it.
I mean, I'll take it. You can learn how to figure out how to pass it on.
Passionate kiss. Ooh, sharp little goblin teeth clacking against each
So,
other.
what the hell should we do now?
Guessing how this
Shogun's gonna
group
hold
is
up a
gonna
finger.
be.
Wait.
It's probably the mark of the anti-hero.
Mark of
Mark of the
dipshittery.
Jamaican. It's the Mark of the Jamaican.
I'll take it, man.
So what's the plan for everybody? Since I don't know what the hell we gained in there.
A sick blue too.
That's what you gained. I gained acid burns and broken arrows.
Your own fault, that is.
The acid burns, yes. The broken arrows, one, yes. The rest, I have no idea.
Karma this is. Shooting me you should not have.
There you go. I may have misspelled something in there, but you get the point of the word. And I will make this item later.
Oh my god. I'm gonna write that in goblin on a piece of parchment and pass it to Wolf.
Okay, then I will copy and paste this over
I mean,
to...
I'm already doing it.
Okay.
I'm already doing it.
Thank you.
I hope you like that item.
First, the name of it alone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take some time and flip through a book that I had on my person.
Okay. Alright.
I'm gonna message you what book I'm flipping through specifically.
Sure.
Would Sarah recognize the identify spell?
Oh, yes.
She does have it also.
Oh, yeah. You'd immediately recognize that Shogun's casting Identify, and he's not hiding it.
Okay.
Okay.
Enjoy your new item.
So...
Just looking for anything, if any new.
You do
things
see
popped up
something
in it.
pop up, Nick. Would you like me to message it to you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So, time to force you through stress so we can get going.
Shut up.
Wait, what? What are you
No,
two talking about over there?
As you see Terias go kind of pale as he's reading a piece of paper.
Turn into a light shade of pink.
All right.
Shogun's gonna pat him on the back. It's alright. It's alright.
Nick closes the book he
Terias,
was
do you
reading
feel
and
under
puts it
stress right
away.
now or concerned for your well-being?
That's a good question. I think the first thing Terias is gonna do when he finishes this is just take out his tools and start tinkering to calm down.
Okay.
Because last thing he wants is...
Are you gonna explode if you get overstressed?
Give me a d20 roll, Terias. No
turn into the
modifiers.
Hulk. D20.
The blue goblin hole.
See, so that means we were. Oh god.
6.
Okay. Alright, well, that'll come up later.
Well, that's interesting information in my book. I close up that book that I was reading and put it away.
Okay. Well, just standing in this giant desert with this closed tomb.
We should probably head for a town and try and rest up and everything. May as well stick together for right now.
The closest town to you, for those in the area, would know it's either Faircrest, the Orcish town, or Thrumgollen, if you can find one of its above-ground entrances. However, I will mention, Nick, as you are a beast hunter, and someone who specializes in animals, you would have heard rumors before arriving here that a great emerald dragon seems to be stalking the Vidan Empire's rock bottom roads and eating those deemed a higher strength than the average
We
dwarf.
are not going
Yes,
to the dwarf. We're not going to the Verdan Empire at all. Period. There is no way we're going down there.
Okay.
So let's head for the orcs.
With a K.
Do we know if they're friendly?
They're friendly enough. Just don't piss them off.
Got it.
Sarah, you can give me a history check if you'd like. See if you know if they're friendly.
I would like.
Okay.
Shogun say under his breath, friendly to goblins at least.
All right, you learn
Okay.
orcs like to eat goblins. Firstly, they also enjoy the occasional human, especially if they're Nordic. And most elves are despised by orcs.
Do we have any other options?
No. We had to do
I
with
pull
that, we
out.
do with
I
something.
pull out a map real quick and take a look and see where the next closest town would be outside of those two. Because
Okay.
if they're not good options, then
I voted Verdan.
All right, let me upload
I don't
that.
want to get eaten by a goddamn dragon today. Fuck
So-
you.
There's a map uploading. It'll take a minute because it's a rather large map. You lot don't know where you are in the Great Desert, as the desert is ever shifting, so most maps don't seem to keep track. But you know you're in the Great Desert somewhere.
Oh boy.
Okay. So what
We're in the
what
Great Desert.
continent is this on?
You far left.
Oh, the Great Golden Sea.
Far left,
Far
yeah.
left
No.
at the top of that.
Yep.
Yeah, they're going to
Mhm.
that. Dwarves are
So-
Oh.
right?
Where
either
in the Great
dwarf-
Desert are we?
You don't know. No maps track well enough up here because it's a massive desert. No one's ever mapped it fully. So
Okay.
you don't
The
even
Redlands
Yes.
are what?
the Vidan Empire.
Okay. And the gray are the orcs.
Orcs. Yep.
We don't really have another option other than Medan or orcs, so
I vote red.
Red eye votes. One dragon could
This-
survive. Many orcs will not live.
I look at both the gallons and go, this thing's been eating anyone it deems worthy to eat. So, if it deems you worthy, we're sacrificing you and running.
Mm.
Kill you.
Terias, give me a D20. Terias, give me a D20 roll, please.
15.
Okay, good to know. All right.
I say, okay. That just means we have to head south, and I start trying to figure out which way south is. Real quick, using the fact that I know lays of the land better.
Give me a survival check for that. Survival or nature. I'll take either.
14 for survival.
Okay. You pretty much figured out pretty clearly that heading down, or basically walking outside of the tomb and following the same a general path, you can see mountains way far off in the distance, and you recognize those as part of the Orcish Empire. So that would be south of you.
Follow me, we're heading south. If you have water, make sure to ration it out for a few days.
Okay. All right. As you all start walking, it takes about 3 days before you finally get to the edge where you see more and more mountains. On the third day, you lot find yourself not only dealing with restless sleep continuously, but you find yourselves in a dark tunnel once again. As you wake up, person on watch would have fallen asleep as well. This would have been a magical sleep with a
Wait, elves are
DC of
immune to that.
30. That is true. Sarah, you watch as suddenly, due to your trance-like states, you're still somewhat conscious enough of the area, as a giant blackened creature, as darker than the night, seems to explode out from Terias's forehead. And you find yourself suddenly in a dark tunnel as it envelops you lot. You are the only one awake currently, though.
She would instantly start to try to wake people.
Okay.
And sword, and the gauntlet goes to sword mode if it
Okay,
works.
it works. It seems to immediately go to sword form. And as each of you wake up, you just find yourself in a dark room. For those who have dark vision, you immediately see that this room seems to be made of a gray-like stone with a black, like pillars, similar to the one you had just gone through earlier.
Son of a
Oh.
bitch! It's pitch
Shogun.
black again, and I can't see jack shit.
No. Shogun's gonna sigh. No, what's happening? I do.
Yeah, once Sarah got everybody awake, she would have explained what she saw happen.
Okay.
Sorry.
Terias, do you feel stressed right now?
Yes.
Just gotta ask.
Very.
All right, you see two
I'm gonna
lights.
try to calm down.
Okay. You see two lights, one to your right and one to your left. Both are at
Yeah,
equal distance.
Really calm down if you want it.
Can I try to get any sense of where these lights lead?
In what kind of manner are you thinking? What are you
In the
looking
kind
for?
of manner that this thing that is stuck on my forehead is offering up places, and I want to try to figure out which the better place to go would be.
Okay, give me an Arcana check.
While he's doing that, I'm pulling out my pan flute at this point. I have nothing better to do
15.
than play music in the dark.
Both seem equally to be the same as far as the pull to them.
Anyone want to stay here?
Not really. I stay stopping my pan fluting for a moment and going back to it.
I'm gonna give an item to Terias that might help later.
Okay.
It's a secret surprise that may save us later.
I will say, Shogun, as you dig in your pockets, your pocket sand is gone.
Goddamn it. We're talking sand.
Aw.
No, so I'm gonna tell him in Goblin, don't use this now, but when you feel really stressed, this will be good, and I'm gonna hand him a dose of Dream Lily.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Okay, so the party's drug dealer is here.
So
You can't see what I'm doing. You can't see what I'm doing.
Terias immediately recognizes it.
all right. Which way do you wish to go, right or left?
I'm sitting there blind, so I can't. I grab onto somebody as I play the
I'm
pan
grabbing his.
flute.
Okay.
I
Is
got it.
there anything differing about the color? Are they both just white?
Both seem to be bright white lights. Both seem to be in a square-like doorway format, and both are equal distance from you.
All right. Let's go right, because right's always right.
Okay.
I feel like that's wrong, but fine.
As you all
Yeah.
turn. Oh, go ahead, sir. Sorry.
I was just
Be
going to say, Sarah
quiet.
grabs Sigrun, and while walking over to grab her, says to Shogun, "You identified this the other day. What is that?"
Through the multiverse, we're currently traveling.
The
Okay.
pan flute. Didn't know.
That's a bombshell and I have to learn.
Shogun doesn't understand social cues.
Evelyn, the fuck
Very
you
close.
just say?
Hear me, you did not. Through the multiverse, we travel.
Uh,
As you
this
head
is a
right.
headache.
Wait, Nick, do you feel stressed?
Oh no. Explain later, I shall.
Slightly, so back to pans looting I go to calm down.
Good news, it doesn't affect anything. As you continue,
Mind you, the tone, the notes he's playing is upbeat but very slow tones.
okay.
On the
So,
pans.
as you head to the right, continuing through, you eventually come out of the tunnel. It takes about a good another hour of walking, as the light seems to move away from you. But as you finally get close enough and walk through it, you find yourself standing on what looks to be a rather large, empty, rolling hills-like plain. You see cities all around you. The grass itself is a white color. You can see the rivers running through. The plain is a reddish color. It looks to be a slightly thicker color or liquid, but seems to be running similar to what a water or a river would. You can see cities off in the distance. One is, from what you can tell from here, given all of your passive perception scores, looks like it has solid gold walls from this distance. And you can see what looks to be off in the distance a bunch of weird, short, stubby-looking creatures about 2 feet tall, with kind of like a fluffier exterior, but yet at the same time looking almost slightly shiny to them. They have giant blue eyes and seem to, on occasion, let out a small roar and belch some sort of green fire.
I see.
I quickly make a drawing of them, and we're in a grassland. I am good here.
Give me a survival check, Nick.
I think I get advantage in grassland. Let me double check.
Okay. Give him a minute.
I have proficiency bonus doubled for those. For anything related. So if this is related to the grassland,
Yes.
I can get double proficiency. Yay! So that's +5. So I'll just add another 2 to what I roll.
Roll.
So 10.
10? You
Yep.
learn these are a rare species that were once heard of in not in your homeland, but in your travels. They used to be very common in the Drafican continent. They're called dragon sheep. Supposedly, at one point, some dragon got really drunk, or so the story goes, and fucked a sheep, and this is what came out of it. Their
I get a
wool
quick
is said to
sketch of
be
these.
elementally charged, and is used to be used in nobles' clothing to give slight resistances to the elemental damage that they use.
Huh? Dragon sheep. And I quickly pull out a separate notebook and sketch into them the dragon sheep as best I can.
Okay. All right. You have now collected a dragon sheep drawing. The sun is in the middle of the sky. It is of a yellowish color. The sky itself is of a bluish color. Slightly lighter than what you remember, but otherwise no different. What would you like to do? Don't worry. You have all of you have your stuff minus Shogun's pocket sand.
I don't have my arrows really either because they're broken.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't believe you took away my pocket sand.
So if we're traveling, were you able to ascertain how to control it?
I don't have control. I
guess
have
we'll
no
to work on
idea
that.
where we are.
Immediately, as Terios says that, a giant Tarrasque hologram-like creature appears right from his forehead and just sits in front of you lot. It's about 20 feet tall, and seems to lay down on the ground. It scares the sheep as they run away off in the distance. And it just looks to you and says, "You are in the verse of elementals of value."
Well, now we know where we are.
Where were we just... Oh no, I know where we were before. At least I think I do.
You were in an alternative version of your own multiverse, where King Toutler had not been enveloped with a god.
Oh.
Is that why this place looks so nice? Because I thought these things died out almost.
Other,
Dragon sheep.
Where you came from is that.
Oh.
I'm on a quest to find Kurgan now. I want to see what he's up to.
Does Shogun say that out loud?
No, he doesn't even know Kurgan.
Alright.
How do we control where we go?
That is up to the one who casts it, should he learn how to use it.
Practice.
I'm just gonna kind of like look down and start fiddling with some machinery.
Don't get stressed out any further. We don't need a universe hop again right now.
Shut up!
You know, something that doesn't help with stress, moron.
And the creature just kind of shoves itself back into, or runs at Terias and shoves itself into his forehead as he is slammed to the ground, and it disappears.
Terias poops a little, just a
That
little.
was fun.
Well, given where I think we are, to pull out the map.
Your map
I
is
know-
blank.
Oh, fuck.
It does show a small playing field here, though.
Well, we're in the plains. I know how to survive in this type of area.
Minecraft map.
Kind of. His map is magically charged now. It will update as he moves around.
I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I do know that these sheep were native to the Dragonborn lands, Drafka. So I'm guessing we're in the equivalent of that.
A good
I
place to
guess-
be, would not.
We find maybe a local village. Not
A
shoot for a
brothel.
large city yet.
We'll find a small village, but there's still a chance we're gonna be attacked because I'm human, you're an elf, we have 2 goblins and a boar.
And they all walk into a
Sigrun
bar.
snorts at you.
So the likelihood of us being attacked is still pretty high just because Dragonborn aren't friendly with humans after things that humans did to them, and then they're just generally not friendly to anybody at all. They were enslaved pretty heavily.
But if this is a whole
Let
different
us-
world, all of that may not have happened.
That is true, it seems rather peaceful, but that can underlie that there are major problems. We'll head for a smaller town. I'm gonna take a look around and see if I can see a smaller village, other than the giant golden wall building that seems like it's 5 days away.
Yeah, you don't see anything else.
Shogun
Well-
likes gold wall. Shogun walked.
Okay.
I
Shogun
guess we're
walks.
heading to the golden wall thing, because that
Cool.
seems like the only place to go.
All right.
Hopefully there's a brothel in there for the goblin.
You find yourselves all walking faster than normal. Your walking speed is doubled while you are here. As you lot seem to get there within an hour or two, getting closer and closer, you see what looks to be flying creatures with very bright scales. They seem to be roughly to the 7 to 8 foot size window, large tails, and look to be wearing very sophisticated robes with golden inlays on them. You see no guards posted on the walls, no guards at the gates, no guards at all.
Let's try and walk into the city then.
So
Okay,
wait,
you said
was
what?
this like 5-day journey?
No,
No,
Or
it was
like a
only a couple
2.5
hours.
day journey?
you made it in
Oh, wow.
in an hour.
Cool.
Yep. As you lot finally arrive at the gate, you see 2 what looks to be very large creatures. Give me a, let's say, history check to see if you recognize what these are.
Oh, good. I'm good at those.
Fey fiends are undead.
26.
Nope.
22.
Okay.
I know what these things are. 26. Yeah.
18.
Shogun's actually the only one who does.
I got a net 20 plus 2. I
Uh-huh.
did good.
And that's right. 6.
Shogun, you learn these are dragonkin. These are what Dragonborn try to become by in their old religious beliefs.
It's
to
Rugar.
Yeah, basically, they try to
Pretty.
become these by making themselves known, but to the dragons they serve.
Huh.
I feel it's rude to sketch them right now. I will sketch them later.
Do you share that? What you realize?
Yeah, I'll share. I'll share before we go talk to them so everyone knows what we're dealing with. Dragonkin they are. More true race of Dragonborns.
Does anybody
that's-
else here know Draconic?
No, I speak a bit of Elvish, Dwarvish, Infernal, Goblin, and Common, but that's it.
The one time Cameron doesn't make a Dragonborn.
Yeah. Yeah, the one fucking time I don't, and it'd be
Honestly,
the
it's
most useful fucking thing ever.
I have a D20
Oh, I-
table of what Terias
He's
is doing, so.
elevated. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know Draconic. I don't
Okay.
know if this is what they speak, but if they are some sort of dragonkin, as you say, possibly speaking in their native language may help.
We'll try
Worth a
Common
try, Liz.
first, I say.
As you guys
Right.
get closer and are kind of standing, debating on what to do, you do see what looks to be a dragonkin walking towards you. He is of a bronze scaled color, about 7 foot tall, very long, scaly-looking beard. No hair, but just scales that seem to portray off his chin, almost like an extra layer of skin. His wings seem to be kind of kept in, and he is wearing bright blue robes with a copper-like inlay to them. And he is walking towards you unarmed, other than a small staff, or, well, one would call it a staff, but it is more like a quarter staff. It's just a stick that seems to have some drawings done onto it.
Sarah will say in Draconic towards this person, excuse me, we are not certain where we are. We are travelers.
He speaks to you and goes, "Ah, you speak in the brutish tongue," as he speaks Draconic to you.
Do you prefer this brutish tongue, or I will switch to common or common?
In our ancestors' language, this is unfortunately not many of my people know this language. You are lucky to have come across me, as I was just heading out of the city to travel to the next. He looks at you and says, "Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ad, of the City of Gold."
Add like AD or
Yes.
OD?
AD.
Okay. Okay.
I am a scholar of the great arts of the Mechanicus.
Yeah. And has he switched to common now?
No,
or is he
he's
still
still
in
speaking
Draconic?
Draconic.
Okay. Then
Oops.
in still in Draconic, allow me to introduce the rest of my group. My name is Sarah. Although when I say my name is Sarah, I'll keep it in Draconic, and then I will switch to common when I introduce the rest of the people, so that the group knows what I'm saying.
He, as you speak their name, he poorly pronounces them in a very brutish and very thickly accented tongue.
Yeah, since he's doing that, I will like. Not that names change much in
Nope.
languages, but I will pronounce it also in Draconic if there is a difference.
Slight for
From
some.
what I know. Yeah.
Nick's name is the only one that doesn't translate at all. And he,
I don't know, Nick. I don't know.
he looks
In
to you.
Elvish, son of a bitch.
He looks to you and goes, elf, goblins, and a large sentient boar, and an ape. Most of your species have been gone for thousands of years. I'm quite shocked that any of you exist still. Who's your master?
And he's still in Draconic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Continuing in Draconic, I don't know what you mean. We are free people.
Oh. That's maybe interesting. Where do you hail from?
That is also an interesting,
Story.
interesting question. For briefest terms,
Not here.
we are not from here or anywhere even close to here, but have recently found ourselves
Hopping
transported
by.
here.
Your master must have casted one of the new teleportation, or created one of the new teleportation machines and wiped your memories. That happens from time to time. We find many a slaves like that out here. Well, welcome. As I mentioned, my name is Odd. I am a scholar of the lands. I travel studying new technologies and bringing them back to our great emperor. He looks to Terias and goes, a slave who knows Mechanicus concerning. Interesting. How much for your friend there? Do you know if your master set a price to him? He looks to Sarah.
As far as I know, he has not. But we should probably be on our way. I'm
No.
now remembering some like being pulled to go do some things. I must be a mission that my master has given us.
No, you're welcome to join me for dinner. I have a rather large estate back in the town, if you're interested. I truly insist.
Sure.
He nods and goes, all right, please follow me. And he looks to the rest of the creatures and very slow, very guttural sounding. He speaks to the rest of you with a very thick accent. Goes, follow me, as he points to himself.
So I'll
I'm
say,
gonna
okay.
just speak in Elvish
Sir-
at this point for a moment and be like, what the hell just went down?
Does he seem to recognize Elvish when
He does not.
that is said?
He seems confused by the language.
I will switch to Elvish because I also know that.
I would
speak.
and
I'll say in Goblin to Nick, what just went down?
yeah.
I don't know. I'm finding out. Shut up.
What I will do, or what Sarah will do, is kind of in like a calming motion, kind of the hand down, like, you know, it's okay. But while saying that, we'll quickly recap the conversation that we had with Koenig, and say if you have a way of telling the rest in anything other than common or draconic.
I don't speak Draconic. I can tell them in Goblin.
We can all speak Goblin.
Yeah.
Except for her. I don't think she speaks it. I think she
Sigrun
still
just seems
thinks
to be
that
nodding
it's-
along.
I
Yeah.
still think that she thinks that is indigestion, and I'm letting her think that for as long as possible.
Yeah, Sigrun and I will actually, I'll kind of let Sigrun walk slightly ahead of me as we're following this person. And Sarah will actually switch to Infernal.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I'm
Yeah.
that one.
I know that one too!
and not, you know, because Sarah knows that Sigrun knows it,
Mm-hmm.
but doesn't know it the rest. And we'll basically recap to Sigrun, just play along, you know, kind of similar hand motions.
Back in Infernal.
Okay.
I understand this one too.
What's your passive perception, Sarah?
Really low, 11.
Okay.
I got a 15.
No, I said passive, and there's a reason I'm asking. Don't worry.
I have passive
yeah.
15, that's why I was like,
Oh. Alright, as you lot follow him into the city, he leads you, and you see these massive buildings of what looks to be this almost shinier version of what you've experienced with iron, as you see giant gears clicking, the buildings moving on their own, giant tubes of people walking people around with giant iron-like legs. Eventually,
while we're looking at all this, I'm revealing to Shogun exactly what happened in Goblin.
Okay.
Sounding like I have indigestion.
I will say, while you're walking around, you do see a few elves that are in chains, and you can see them having to shove giant, like, boxes full of what look to be this strange rock-like material that you don't recognize. And they seem to be getting... every once in a while, you'll hear one get whipped with their giant collars seeming to slightly tighten all around their throats.
Ugh.
And as you guys eventually make it to the center of the city, you find yourself at this massive-looking, almost university-like, for those who come from civilized lands, building, huge with massive decorated windows, gears shifting as you can hear people chanting and speaking, and little creatures made of iron walking about, carrying massive cases of books. or even people on certain occasions. And he eventually takes you to one of the smaller towers, made of solid gold and what looks to be capped with a bronze-like roofing. Eventually, as you go up to the top of the tower, you find yourself in his a rather large study with a big iron table, chairs made of a fine, what looks to be almost a gemstone-like material that none of you seem to recognize, as it seems to be a thicker green than emerald ever could be. And as you all sit down, you immediately feel relaxed as a chair seems to kind of shove into your body, causing your muscles and body to move slightly. And he kind of puts his hand out for you all to sit, and kind of pulls out a couple books and looks around and goes, "So, you said you're from another land. What exactly land are you from? The golden dragon has conquered all." As he looks to Sarah, speaking again in Draconic.
Draconic.
Oh, I really want to say something in Dwarvish at this point and see if he recognizes that, but there's no
Shogun's
point.
gonna read his book that's entirely in Goblin.
Let's see. What does Sarah say? Go ahead. No, I'm thinking for a second.
Can I? You said he slapped a couple books on a table.
Mm-hmm.
Are they in? What language are they in?
You don't recognize this language at all.
Bummer.
This looks like strange scribblings, but you do notice that they are scribbled in what looks to be, in as someone of your experience, this is pure gold that looks like it's written in. You'd probably value that book by the thickness of the 3 books he set down, probably at almost 20,000 gold pieces worth of gold used, if the ink is the same.
I'm gonna pull out my Bestiarian work and look at the pages I filled in, the few that I have.
He walks
Gold
over as you're
information.
doing that and as he waits for Sarah's response, and pats Nick on the shoulder and goes, "Ah, a slave who can draw and knows of the animals. Yes, we have many of these dragon sheep. We also have many other creatures, such as the short, hairy ones that walk around. We call them little Buddhas. I believe they were once referred to as Vedanis, something of that sort. Old creatures from long ago that were conquered."
In Dwarvish, I say Vadan.
He looks down at you and smacks you across the face as hard as he can. You take 10 points of damage as your face is cut from his nails that are finally cut.
I am at 1 HP.
And he goes, "You do not speak out of turn, slave."
Sarah will pipe up in Draconic again. Basically, anytime I'm speaking with him, I'll speak in Draconic.
Yep.
Forgive my acquaintance. I do not know of this golden dragon, but as you've said, it's our masters may have cast or created a teleportation machine that caused us memory loss.
That is fine.
I believe we are from very far away.
You must be from the new
It's,
colonies. I would not be
that could be.
surprised. Many of my dragonkin kin have headed out there. I have a friend out there by the name of Joe. A great man, good man. He serves the Great Mechanicus. But it is understandable. Just make sure to keep your compatriots here in line and not speak that guttural tongue of the banished creatures. Those who claim to know what it is to manipulate the land.
I will do. I will make sure they understand.
Also, it is interesting that you speak the language of the givers. I did not know that a slave could learn such a language.
It took me many years to learn it myself, but I hope I have a decent grasp of the language.
Yes, telling your boorish friend to play along. Interesting concept to discuss in these times. As you suddenly see there are guards flying around the windows, and they are all watching you, and they have what look to be long cylindrical items in their hands, pointed at you all.
Forgive me, Infernal is a newer language to myself. I may have spoken the incorrect word.
Give me a
I meant
deception
to
check.
follow. Yeah, pretty much.
Give me a deception check.
Hey, no, I'm
Nope.
as well, but I'm not speaking up right now because I'm
Surprisingly, he
killing
just
me.
rolled a 1. Fuck me. He looks at you and goes, huh. Careful with your tongue next time. Your master needs to teach you better. Your friend there, the stout one, the one with the diseased skin, as he points to Terias, he knows the ways of the Mechanicus.
I believe so. I do not know him well myself. It's very recent that we've all come together, from what I can remember.
Makes sense, given you're descended from the fair ones. We use you a lot for breeding stock, personally. The rest of you, the two stout ones, they're very familiar for the northern lands as slaves. They make terrible slaves, to be honest. They die too easily. We have one that loves pocket sand. It's a strange fascination. And the last one, your friend who speaks the tongue of the stout Buddhas. He is of one of the few apes that we have seen. Many of them have been killed out or used for meat for our people. But I digress. What is it exactly you are looking for in these lands?
I am not 100% certain myself currently. I don't know of these lands right now. I'm assuming that possibly memories may come back and would be able to know more.
Good, good. He grabs one of the books and sets it down, and you all recognize the symbol on it as it looks to be a golden dragon skull. And he goes, "This is a history of the dragons. The golden dragon, the man who united all of us and brought us into the Ascension period. The great Toutler himself, who served and conquered everyone."
The darkest timeline.
Son of a bitch, Torrid, what did we do?
Pretty much.
After he wiped out the humans and those short, stout folk in a single blow, he himself managed to push us into the new age. The Mechanicus itself was created by him, said to be, as we were no longer gifted by those who claimed to be our betters. But those gifters, you would know them probably as the Genocide, as he kind of looks around your group. He seems to kind of walk up to Shogun and smell him, taking a very deep breath of above Shogun's head.
I smell good. I use perfume and stuff.
And he goes, "Your lot have unique smells. I'm guessing this one's used in a brothel house or for breeding stock. Poor kin that use him. Anyways,
Sarah chuckles and nods.
if
Doesn't
you are
say anything.
if you are from the colonies, I will have you sent there by morning. You will stay on my lands so that you are not assumed to be of someone else's use. If you are teleported here, you must come from one of the noble houses. Maybe even Toutler himself, as he is serving there. I will warn
Yes, it is possible. Yes, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
that if you should cause any issues, there will be quick executions, starting with your red friend here, as he pats Terias on the head.
Terias, still just kind of scribbling blueprints in his notebook, just kind of purrs without looking.
This one knows the Mechanicus. He must have been trained well. You see the Dread grab the book from Terias, pushing him down with just the bare minimum strength, and start looking over your blueprints and smacks you aside the head. You take 4 points of damage, and he takes out a pencil from one of his pockets and starts drawing on it, correcting your mathematics and design, saying, "He has much to learn. You should let your master know that he has his designs are very crude and simple."
I will. I will make sure that he gets more training.
This lathe he speaks of, such a simple item that we created long ago. He slams it down onto the table. Huh, not worth my time. Yes, you will stay in my slave's quarters for the night. I will have a meal sent to you in case you are someone of values, and otherwise you are excused as he shoos you away.
Thank you very much for your generosity.
He nods and goes back. He suddenly cracks open a book and begins reading it and ignoring you.
Yeah, Cyril motioned to kind of go whichever way he gestured. 'Cause I assume he gestured.
He gestured
kind of-
back towards the stairway that you came up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab my book back off the table.
As you do, you see your lathe is perfectly designed. You just need to make the parts now. You've got an exact replica of what you were expecting to make.
And once we all get out of that room, is there anybody else like waiting for us to direct us, or?
Yeah, as you walk
Just-
out, you see a very large and wide iron golem that is pointing down the stairway, waiting for you. He's about 3 feet wide and about 6 feet tall, and designed similar to look like a very similar dragon kin, but much bulkier.
Limping
Cyril-
along, following.
Yeah, Sarah will just say in common this time. Just follow for now. I will explain more soon,
Okay.
and attempt to try to make our way to wherever these quarters are.
The golem heads you down, and you head past the kitchens, the spare bedrooms, and then eventually down into the basement, where you find yourself pushed into the room. The door is locked behind you. Torches light immediately. You realize these torches seem to be a strange material as they glow rather than actually are a fire. They seem to have a strange glass casing around them that causes a thin line of what looks to be wire of some sort to light up. And you see a few small humans in the room. You'd guess them to probably be no older than maybe 10 to 12 years old, and you see two of them hiding in one of the hay pits. The ground is made of a solid brick. There are a total of 15 what look to be almost like stable-like stalls with hay laid in them, and cloth to either side of the hay bale or hay fields. There's also what looks to be a trough full of water and a bucket at each of the stalls filled with what looks to be some sort of pellet material.
Okay. Once we get in, how big a room is it? Like 20
It's
by
about a
20,
40-foot
50?
room
Okay.
and about 20 feet tall. It's a brick
Uh,
with brick walls, brick flooring, and a wooden ceiling.
Okay, Sarah will kind of gesture everybody to go to a corner where there's farther away from people, and recap the entire conversation that was just had, normally in common.
Okay.
Then, like, once she kind of gets done, it's like, this world may not be really easy to maneuver through if apparently only dragonkin are not slaves.
That means we're essentially fucked unless we teleport out of here. And that bastard hit me just for talking Dwarvish.
Yeah, I noticed that you did that. It seems don't use Dwarvish here.
No comment.
Nick looks like he's about to pass out, in all honesty.
You do see the two human children kind of come over and grab Nick with an impressive amount of strength. Seems to be a little girl with black hair and black eyes, with darker skin, and the other seems to be a pale blonde kid with green eyes. And the boy seems to be about 10, while the girl is about 12 years old. And they kind of drag Nick off. Not really having to fight much he is so weakened. And you see them start rubbing this strange green material all over his face. It reeks like cow manure, but Nick, you just feel a slight tingling, and then you feel yourself pass out.
What I've seen that say to the kids starting it in common.
Okay.
What was that? What did you do?
The kid speaks to you in very broken common and goes. The little boy kind of looks over to you and goes, green lichen heals scratches, as he points to Nick's face and starts to kind of make a scratching mark at his own face, and you can see the scratches are starting to close.
Sarah nods and asks, "Speak in your native or most known tongue."
He starts speaking
if-
Undercommon.
Oh,
Does
I
anybody here
looked
know
at it.
Undercommon?
Yeah, I looked to the rest of the group to see if anybody understood that.
Mm-mm.
shake my head no.
I don't.
I'm gonna
It's-
check.
I don't believe
Sigrun's-
Sigrun does. No.
Oh yeah, let me.
Nope,
look.
giant
I've
and
got it
infernal.
open.
Yeah.
Yep. I will say then in common again. Unfortunately, it seems we do not know that language. Is this okay?
He looks to you and goes, and he starts speaking in Draconic outright, and goes, I know Draconic, the old tongues, Undercommon, where my family is from, and a bit of the green-skinned ones, as he points to Shogun.
I have blue skin. What the fuck?
Yeah, he still points to you though. He
Man.
calls you a greenskin.
Yeah, then
saying
yeah,
goblin
then I
priest.
will. Yeah, I was just gonna say in Draconic then, since he spoke it. Then these will probably be able to understand you in that language. I can understand you in this. Fully.
He looks at you and he goes, my sister speaks, did you call it common?
That was what I started with, yes. In Draconic I said that.
He looks to him and goes, my sister speaks it, but unfortunately she has no, how do you say, and he points to his tongue.
Ooh.
Sarah just nods and I understand.
He goes, yes, unfortunately many of your, your folk, as he looks to Sarah and goes, are used as breeding material. They're used as slaves, mostly, as he kind of nudges his chin towards Terias and Shogun, and he looks to Nick and goes, and our people, unfortunately, are used as food sources. We weren't deemed large enough and well fed enough or coming from a good enough stock due to us being under common. So, unfortunately, we don't get treated as badly. But I'm guessing you're not from here.
You are correct. We are from somewhere very far away.
Mm.
And are not used to, we'll say, all of the rules
That
that are
explains
set here.
that explains your magic. As he smiles, because I can see the magicules coming off of you a lot. You, the small green skin there, and also the the ranger here, your friend with the bow and no arrows.
Yeah, and through all this, I'll since he speaks Draconic better than Common, I will continue in Draconic. But for the rest of the group, I will be doing the translating thing.
Okay.
So it's like I'll say it in Draconic,
Rum-
and then I'll like repeat it in basically
Sleepy
Common.
talking goblin randomly.
Yeah.
He looks.
Or
He
at least-
goes.
Or,
Would you
or at
like?
least summarize it in Common?
Would you like here? And he kind of walks up to you and kind of grabs your face, reaching for your face, and kind of
Oh, yeah, so they're all bent down.
as he touches you, you feel a magic spell go off, and he looks to you and goes, and starts speaking perfect common and goes, "That's much better. Apologies," as he looks to each of you, and you can hear Nick kind of fluttering awake. Nick, you are at full HP now. However, your face smells of cow manure.
I accept
Perfume.
that I was taught how to hide in plain sight. That'll help. Oh,
he
God.
looks at you and goes, "Apologies. I know a few language spells were for use in case."
That is very handy.
In
you.
Goblin, that's a good trick, kid.
He looks at you and goes, "Yes, my name is. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Nick. My father or my great grandfather was a golden dragon, supposedly, according to what my parents told me.
Oh, you got a good name, kid. I pat Nick on the head.
He smiles and goes, "Yes,
What? My name is Sarah.
nice to meet you. And I can see the names of Shogun and Terias. Your species and thankfully your magicules here give off who you are. If I can sense that, thankfully the dragonkin can't, as they are not given the magical blessings that we other species were. Price of their ascension and all." And he starts speaking in Goblin to Shogun and goes, "By the way, thanks for the pocket sand," as he smiles and pulls out pocket sand.
Rude. That was mine.
Going
I
to-
look at my broken arrows and see if I can start repairing them a little bit, at least a few of them.
Give me a proficiency check if you're proficient in woodcarver's tools.
I'm not. I'm proficient in herbalism, so I'm guessing it's just a D20.
Yep.
Hey, that's an 11.
Okay. You wrap some cloth around the arrows. They will not fire straight, so all your shots will be at disadvantage.
That's at least better than not having any range attack.
I'm
True.
gonna make sure the kid didn't take anything else. I'm checking my bags.
I check for the one book my mother gave me as well.
Your book's still there. The little girl seems to have also started to hide in the corner. She has stealthed into hiding. And the boy continues, don't mind her. She's very shy around living folk. Plus, your friend there looks very much like our father, unfortunately.
Which... Oh,
As
me?
he points, as he kind of looks to Nick.
I'm gonna point at Nick and just say, I'm gonna point at Cameron and just say Nick.
Okay.
And I'm gonna point at the kid and also say Nick.
He nods.
Yeah, my name's Nick as well. Nick Wheelwright.
Wheelwright. Are you Swafian?
Don't know. My mother did have that surname, but
He
That's all I know.
smiles and goes, "Interesting. So, how may I be of assistance to you lot? It looks like you're not slaves. You speak too well. Your goblin friend here had the audacity to start drawing Mechanicus but in front of one of the 7 lords of the Dragonkin.
I'm still doing it, by the way.
Yeah.
I just sat down.
I look at Sarah
Entire
and say, should we tell them the
conversation.
truth or try and lie our
Okay.
asses off? I don't think lying to children's...
I'm gonna
I
step
didn't
into
think
this
we're gonna
right
get-
next to the kid. A decent wizard I am.
Ah, and he
I'm gonna-
copies your spell, Shogun, immediately.
I'm gonna
We're not
do an
from
insight on the kid to see if he's like
on the
kinda
up and up.
being fully truthful, or see if he's got ulterior motives with talking with us.
I mean, he probably wants to leave.
Give me an insight check.
Come on, that's not too bad.
I mean, I have
Uh,
truth serum if you really want to use some.
Okay. He seems to be interested in you. He's not telling any lies, but he's also not telling you everything.
Right.
I look at him and be like, should we just get it over with and tell him the full truth? Because we just found out a bit ago.
Willing to be blunt, Shogun is.
Yeah, Sarah shrugs and say, well, I mean, we've probably got to start somewhere.
I look
Maybe
at
we
the
can get
kids,
this-
both of them, and crouch down.
Yeah.
Just stretching for a moment. We're
If
from
you're
a different
about-
universe.
If you're about to tell me that you're my father and that this is how you met my mother, I'm not interested.
No,
Nick,
no,
I'm
no.
your
I'm sorry.
father.
I have bet a few wound, but I have no kids that I know of. For one,
They're
for
from another
two,
universe.
we're not even from this universe.
That explains why your friend has an orb in his head.
Yeah, that Shiraz Corp is what's been making us hop around.
Huh. Would you like me to activate it?
Only if you're not worried about coming with us. Because it
Yes,
seems to take
to-
everybody with us.
No!
He walks straight up to Terias and just punches him as hard as he can right in the forehead.
No!
I grab the little girl and I'm like, okay, we're all leaving.
Does
then.
a
I'm not letting these-
19 hit Terias's AC?
Yes, motherfucker, a 19 hit. Fuck you guys.
You take
Play.
you take 1 HP worth of damage, non-lethal,
I've
and
I rush and grab the boy too.
and he looks up, and suddenly you see the blue Tarask pop out, and you suddenly hear the door is starting to open as this happens, and the
I grab
Tarask
the boy
looks at Terias and
Sarah
goes,
will attempt to grab the kids as well.
"Okay."
Yeah.
We're taking you kids with us. I look at the girl. We're gonna figure out a way to make sure you can talk again.
The
Everyone
Tarask
deserves
looks
that.
at Terias and goes, "To which would you like to go?"
Home.
Wrong user. To which would you like to go?
Motherfucker, you better show.
Take us home.
Somewhere other than here.
Terius is fucking
Home?
sad as hell.
Confirmed. And then suddenly you see the Tarask go back, shove itself back into Terias's head as Terias is knocked back on the ground, and a giant blackened creature comes clawing out, causing Terias the worst headache as this is going on.
Will shout freedom.
And suddenly it pulls you guys into a hallway again, and you see only one light to your right this time. However, while the kids are with you, the Iron Golem is too.
Oh god.
I look at the iron
Oh,
golem and
that's
I
okay.
say, I start walking towards the light, and I with the little girl.
So,
Iron Golem deactivates as it just
Awesome.
turns off.
we
You know
can
what?
take this with us.
Sigrun, do you mind dragging that? I think Shogun wants it.
Sorry, go ahead,
Yes,
Terias.
Yes, Sigrun will help.
Yeah, I was gonna
move
try
the
to
thing.
drag it too.
Okay. So as you guys start to drag it, it's only about 400 pounds of steel. As you start to pull it, about an hour of movement, because it takes a while to pull this thing around. You allot to make it suddenly back, and you find yourself standing in a completely ruined city of what you all recognize as Gnomish architecture.
Well, damn.
I wonder where we are.
What happened here?
And that's where we're ending today's session. Thank you all for watching. We will see you on the next session after when we come back.
Nick's adopting kids.